The Chicago Lakefront. Places where tourists do not go. In this video, I will show you 3 places on the Chicago Lakefront where tourists do not go. Plus, I will show you how McDonald's in the park can be a great first date. This is the first place, and it is on the south side of Chicago. Plus, back in the 70s and the 80s, this park was almost all black, and because of this, the police did not come into this park. It was not that the police were scared to come into this park. They just did not care if something happened to any black person. Back in the 70s and the 80s, Chicago had a lot of racist police officers. Back in the 70s and the 80s, this park was all rocks and sand. It was like this for miles or kilometers in both directions. Thus, one could drive their car right up to the lake. During the summer, this park was always filled with people at night, and around 4 o'clock in the morning is when people started going home. Back in the 70s and the 80s, the people that came to this park were mostly black people. However, the person that showed me this park at night was a white boy named Billy. Thus, this park was safe even at night. My friends and I would drive 45 minutes from the suburbs just to hang out in this park at night. Back then, parking was free, and this park would be open all night. Then in the 90s, they moved out all of the black people, planted trees and grass, installed parking meters, and now the park closes at 11 o'clock. However, the park where I would mostly hang out at night is a 15-minute drive north. I will speed up this part of the video so it does not take 15 minutes. Back in the 70s, this part of Chicago was filled with mostly Polish immigrants or poor white people. Most of the apartment buildings were old, abandoned, and some should have been condemned. Yet, look at it now. Golf courses, tennis clubs, etc. At night, when I was in high school and during summer break from college, this park is where I would mostly go. Back in the 70s and the 80s, when I was in high school, this park was my favorite park to hang out at night. Plus, at night, this park was filled with all kinds of people, black, white, Asian, Mexican, etc. Plus, back then, you could drive your car right up to the lake in both directions. Then in the 90s, they planted trees and grass, installed parking meters, kicked out all of the young people, and at night would only allow the local people to visit the park. Thus, if you could not prove that you lived in this area, or if you were a black person, the police would make you leave. Like I said earlier, back in the 70s and the 80s, Chicago had a lot of racist police officers. Now let me show you the best part of this park. It is a great place to take a date. At night, this part of the park is very romantic. The Chicago skyline is in the background showing all the lights of the buildings, and boats are sailing into the harbor. I would take a girl out here for the first date. We would get shrimp and then go to McDonald's and get French fries. Everyone loves McDonald's French fries, and since we are now adults, why are we eating second-class French fries? So we would stop at McDonald's, get French fries and a vanilla shake. So now you know that McDonald's in the park can be a great first date. Plus, the older the female, the better the date, because most females never did something like this, and the ones that did forgot just how nice something like this is. Now the next place I will show you is about a 5-minute drive away, but I will speed it up so it does not take this long. This is a big park. It takes over 10 minutes to drive from one end of this park to the other end, but I will speed it up so it does not take this long. In the 90s, in the summer, during the weekends, this park was filled with families from Mexico and South America. This park has a lot of parking, but they took all the parking places. However, at night they all went home. Plus, before they left, they always cleaned up after themselves, so this park was never dirty or full of trash. Then in the mid-90s, Chicago kicked out all of the families from Mexico and South America and installed parking meters. First I will show you a little and then talk about taking a girl on a date at this park. This concrete pier or dock used to be 10 times the size. It would go way out into the lake. At night it would be a fun place to bring a girl. It would take about 10 minutes to walk to the end of this concrete pier or dock. It would be just you and her and no one else. It made it seem like you two were the only two people left on Earth, the only two people in the whole world. Then we would sit and have something to eat while we looked at the Chicago skyline at night. I was dating a woman that had children, and I took her here. We walked to the end of the pier or dock, and I pulled out some Lunchables. Lunchables is what children take to school and eat for lunch when the parent is too lazy to make them something to eat. You can imagine the look she gave me. I said to her, "You know you always wanted to raid your children's stuff, but felt too guilty to do it. Now you do not have to feel guilty. Plus, if the kids like to eat this stuff, you know it must be good." The next morning, she admitted that she does sometimes raid her kids' stuff. Thank you for watching. Please click the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video. For all my foreign viewers, most translation software is not 100% accurate. So, sorry about any mistakes. For a free copy of my music, go to my website. Remember, my music is only background music. Right now, my music is free, but if I have to start paying for extra services, then I might have to set a price for a download. If you want to know how to create your own music, then go to my other YouTube channel and look for the word Garageband. Creating your own music is easy. I did it and I cannot play a musical instrument. If you want to know how to translate a video into other languages, then go to my other YouTube channel and look for the word translate. The links are in the description below.